Well, I'm just sitting here, the sun is rising, and all these people.
Hi everyone, in this episode I wanted to have a quick chat to you about homeschooling, because on the road it's probably one of the questions that we get asked the most. So the first question we get asked is, where are we from? The second question we get asked is, how long are we on the road? And then the third question is, what are you doing for schooling? Like, what's happening with your kids out of school for 7 months? So I thought that I'd show you basically how we school the kids on the road. There's a few different options for schooling. Some people use distance education, some people use homeschooling, and some people do unschooling. Distance education basically is the national curriculum. So in mainstream schooling, teachers deliver the national curriculum to the kids. In distance education, the parents are responsible for delivering the national curriculum to the kids via workbooks and sometimes video calls with teachers or school of the air, that sort of thing. Homeschooling is a little bit different because you don't have to follow the national curriculum. And that's why it works for us, because out on the road there's just so many opportunities for learning that don't follow the national curriculum. In this episode I'll show you those opportunities that we've had for learning. We've had a real focus basically on where our food comes from. In the last sort of 2 weeks we've been travelling Queensland and had just so many amazing sort of tours or roadside opportunities where the kids have just learned about where their food comes from, how it's prepared, probably the plight of the farmers at the moment, and understanding how much rain is required and how much effort is required to prepare even, say, a single tea bag or a single chocolate bar. So I hope you enjoy this episode, where it's a little bit different from the other ones, but we just go through how our kids learn on a daily basis. We start by learning about how hard it is to catch your own dinner, particularly crabs and fish. In particular, we get the understanding that if we had to catch our own dinner, we would probably be pretty hungry. So pretty, it's just at the sunset. We've got the crab net in and we're just enjoying a relaxing night down here on the beach. We're free camping, so all free activities again. Free campsite, free activities. I don't think we'll get a free dinner. Our crabbing efforts so far have given us nothing, so we're really lucky to have met a couple of people who are a bit more successful than us. One of my favourite things about the trip and about homeschooling the kids has been the grey nomads. They are amazing. They love teaching the kids just anything that they can.
How you tell a male from a female is the male flap is like a big diamond, yeah, on both of them, and the female flap has got a big, it's a big roundy, half moon shape.
Just that sharing and passing on of knowledge, the whole it takes a village to raise a child kind of thing is just so prevalent out here on the road. Rather than just having one teacher in a room or Luke and I teaching them, they've just had this whole sort of realm of people teaching them everything that they can. It's been awesome. Our little homeschooling activity today is an orienteering course for the kids. So we're going to teach them about north, south, east, west, and using a compass and the degrees. So Luke and I are just creating a little orienteering course for the kids while they're in the caravan eating watermelon. tearing and tearing. Well done, guys.
Work, Andy.
Okay, so next question we get asked, do we feel confident teaching our own kids? Well, the answer is surprisingly yes, we do. I guess it's a bit daunting thinking about teaching your own kids because we're not qualified, but since we've been doing this, it has actually made us realise how much we do know. And, you know, we're both smart people, so we have a lot that we can offer our kids, and it makes you really creative. I'm using heaps of resources online to get ideas. I am looking at the national curriculum and figuring out, you know, what the kids should be learning at this stage and what I could assist them with. And yeah, it's fine. If it was high school, it might be a different story, and I may try and follow the national curriculum at that stage. But for primary school, we're really confident that we are able to teach our kids and that they're learning heaps. They're not learning the same stuff they would at school, definitely not, but they're learning a lot of what they wouldn't learn at school. We have just found a pineapple farm, so the kids are learning about where pineapples come from and how they're grown. It's pretty cool, you can see all the little pineapples growing on the bushes.
I thought they grew out of the top.
Never seen a pineapple farm before. Careful, there'll be snakes.
They must have to rip these out. They wouldn't get into all the middle ones. Massive.
I know, I want to pick that one.
There's a couple of cassowaries on the road up here, that's why everyone's stopped. There's actually 3. Oh, there's a mother with 2 babies.
What did you learn at school about cassowaries?
They have really, really big claws. They're sometimes 31 centimeters long. And they're really tall sometimes. And when they're a teenager, they're usually black and they become blue. And they've got a big horn, and they also, they're
Here's one on the
endangered,
side
and
of the
they're
road.
really dangerous.
They're not moving,
as well.
they're just standing in the middle, these.
They are endangered, aren't they? And we're in a cassowary revegetation area, or not a revegetation, a protected area. So it's pretty pretty rare to see, really.
Yeah, it's still...
How much time a day do we spend on schoolwork? Well, that really varies. We don't do a lot of sit-down formal schoolwork. Most of it is just on the fly, learning as we go. Information centres are amazing. When we go to them, the kids will spend, you know, easily an hour doing all of the activities, talking to the information centre ladies, and that's really good learning. So it would maybe even be like an hour a day of actual sit-down learning. But on the go all day long, I reckon they would be learning at least 5 or 6 hours a day. I did start tracking it because if we do continue doing more homeschooling after 100 days in Victoria, I have to do plans and I have to sign up with homeschooling and actually show lesson plans. So I have been tracking it, and I was just blown away by the amount of learning we've been doing once I started documenting it and really looking at how it fits with the national curriculum. So heaps of schooling opportunities, but not a lot of actual sit-down learning other than journal writing and working on sort of mathematics and English skills. What are you making this morning, Louie?
Bread rolls.
See that one?
For lunch.
Yeah.
You come around this
Good
side
job.
for a second.
I'm going to cook them over the campfire.
Awesome. What are you doing this morning, boys?
We're going to go fishing.
What are you making?
Can't really do this.
Yes, you can.
What are you guys making?
We're making a hand long. 2 short ones first.
So Andy and I have finished making our little buns. We've got them all risen and we're going to chuck them on our little campfire that Luke and Josh have been making, and then we're going to have some buns for lunch. on the beach at Mission Beach one morning, we ran into a young guy who was living off the land. He was living off sweet potato and coconuts. We were so lucky because he offered to show us how he gets the coconuts down, and this turned into an hour-long session of him showing the kids how to prepare coconuts and drink them fresh, eat the meat, and even get the bread out of older coconuts that have started to sprout. It was such an amazing learning opportunity for both Luke and I and the kids.
Whoa! So can I go grab one?
Wait. He's got a machete and he'll show you how he cuts them open.
Would be in between those two lengths, like about a shaka, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah, it's like perfect, but we'll bust these both open and
Cool, so that's a new one. That's a new one growing.
yeah, just wait.
Wait, a new tree?
Yeah, that's a new tree. So that's when these guys have fallen down, they get brown on the top and then they go and then they start shooting out and making a new tree. That's
So it's like a pine thing. It's like those pine trees.
Like a pine cone.
Yeah, pine cone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is so good. Let me cut it up for you. This is like coconut
What?
bread, they call it.
I've never seen this.
So good.
So that's because it's all condensed, ready to provide nutrients for the shoots. Is that right?
Totally. So it's sweet as
Thank you.
and delicious.
Thank you. Oh my god.
Is it good?
And check this out. You got a
It's
layer
like
of butter in here, so you can squeeze
Wow,
it.
that's crazy.
Right.
You don't like it, Andy?
They did.
You want to try the butter, Andy? Thank you.
You can scoop it in. Scoop out the butter. It's so delicious.
Determined to learn a new skill, Luke got stuck into figuring out how to open up coconuts himself.
He got one.
Oh, look, Dad, you provided for the family. That's-
get up and get
That's better than fishing. I think you're going to have more luck with coconut. The final stop in our learning about where our food comes from had to be chocolate. This was definitely the kids' favourite. Hey everyone, where are we off to today, guys?
We're going to a chocolate factory thingy.
We're gonna
tour.
we're gonna learn how chocolate's made. So we're in the tropical
Queensland.
region, so in Queensland where all the tropical fruits are grown, and so I really wanted to
Chocolate beans that they make it out of.
I really want the kids to understand exactly where chocolate comes from, because I think at the moment they just think it comes from a supermarket. We headed out into the cocoa orchard where we learnt about cocoa pods and how they're grown. Mission Beach in the wet tropics of Queensland is one of the very few places that cocoa is successfully grown in the world, let alone in Australia. Cocoa pods are split open to reveal the cocoa beans inside. It is the cocoa beans that are then used to make chocolate. The kids had a go at cracking open their own cocoa beans before we learned about how they'd fermented and then roasted to intensify the flavour. Being a big fan of fermented products, I was really excited to learn that chocolate is fermented.
There's a dark chocolate.
Andy was then lucky enough to be called up to help crush the cocoa beans. The final part of the process was obviously tasting the chocolate, which was awesome. It was just like wine tasting, but with chocolate. So that's a brief introduction to how we homeschool the kids on the road. If you've got any questions, then down below, flick them in the comments and we'll answer them. We'll see you next time.